Welcome to the Spalding Brothers Show with myself, Weston Spalding, and my twin brother, Wyatt Spalding. Today, we're going to talk about, if you're watching on YouTube, that cool poster behind Wyatt, basketball life lessons, the meaning behind the poster, and there's about 12, 10 lessons on there. We can go through them, talk about how we developed them as athletes and how it's carried over into our lives today. And I'll kind of start off by telling the story behind it. So, long story short, Wyatt loved basketball. I love basketball. Wyatt couldn't play basketball in high school because obviously he's got cerebral palsy, get trampled, destroyed, couldn't keep up just because of physical limitations. But worked really hard. And then our senior year of college, my senior year of college would have been yours. Um, you were selected to go play at the NBA Cares All-Star game. So we went to Chicago, or we were selected, you were selected to go to Chicago and play in like a unified game with some ex-pros, played with Horace Grant from the Bulls, Tony
Who
Kukoc,
coach?
right?
Yeah, who
Kukoc.
coach? Yeah,
Okay.
you're
Also from
right.
the Bulls. And like Muggsy Bogues. And the Christmas before, so a couple months before, I got this poster that I represented him and his character and all the things he did to lead up to that point. I think you also sent it to me. You sent it to me on Amazon. You'd always just like send me stuff that you
No,
liked
I
on
sent you
Amazon.
on Instagram.
Instagram, yeah,
Found
yeah.
it on Instagram.
hmm He's like, dude, look at this. And so I bought it for you for that Christmas. And then we were at our new house, which was our old house because that's where we shot hoops all the time. But then I surprised him, put underneath the hoop, went out there, just kind of embraced the moment of all the hard work he's put in. Just kind of obviously a lot of you are not twins, but when you're twins, like you share goals. Hopefully, if you are twins, hopefully you're that close. We shared that moment of like it was cool to see Wyatt's hard work pay off, and yeah, Wyatt. I don't know if you want to chime in about the post or anything.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes into the fact like, hard things you do in life, basketball, and what it takes. Like the first one is you play how you practice. So, you gotta the way you play in a game, that's the way you need to practice. And so you can get like an in-game feel the best you can. Like I'll run up and down the court and just shoot a bunch of layups, like because that's what my game entails.
Let's
But
roll. Let's roll back the clock a little bit.
yeah,
When did you feel like in childhood, career basketball, career in tennis, maybe because you're pretty good at tennis too? When do you feel like you realized you wanted to actually implement the skill? And then when did you feel like you started to really implement that skill?
um, yeah, probably middle school, like seventh, eighth grade. Like I would try to practice. I would stay in the game a lot, so I had to like keeping my endurance up. So I would like
hmm
just run up and down the court. And then you told me, I don't know if it was high school or middle school, but you told me like you just need to like practice making layups because you'll make shots, but your shooting percentage is not going to be that good in the game because Special Olympics we're all kind of uncoordinated. So it's like if you shoot 30%, that's pretty good, and 40% is really good, especially in a game.
hmm
And she's like, so you just need to work on layups because over probably 50% of the points are in the paint and layups and floaters. So that's what I would do is I would run up and down the court for like 45 minutes to an hour, just running up and down the court, doing like layups, pull up twos, pull up threes, trying to get that game mentality going. And I don't know, uh I just remember like in fourth grade, one time I like wore, I don't know, some weird pants, like army pants like kids wear. I wore to practice one time. It's like, why are you wearing that? And I was like, I don't know. I just don't want to. I'm cold. I don't want to wear shorts. And he's like, you gotta practice how you play. You're not gonna play in pants. And I was like, all right, well, I wore the pants to practice, and then I never did that again. But yeah, just trying to get that game mentality because like you had it because you would scrimmage against your guys in practice every day after school. Me,
hmm
we had like practice once a week, and like it would I basically just practice on my by myself, and you can't get the same adrenaline you in practice that you do in games. That's what is kind of hard. But I listen to music a lot to try to like kind of replace that adrenaline a little bit to get me pumped up or focused. And I mean, it helps like as you're playing, but it's just not the same as a game. But because I ran up and down the court over and over and over again, I like would get tired, but not as tired as some of my teammates. Because I mean, I'll just face it, I had the endurance and I was in shape, and I
Mhm.
played the entire game sometimes, or like a lot of the time now. I played
Yeah.
like the entire game. Like my tournament a couple weeks ago, I played a total of 48 minutes. So like we played 24-minute games, 6-minute
Yeah, I
quarters.
remember coaching you and being like, I'm not gonna take you out unless you have to come out. So then you would practice your conditioning so that way you could stay in the game and you practice drills. So
Yeah.
that way, like I think that's the biggest mistake made. And I thought I did a okay job of it. Could always do better. But just taking game like situations and then trying to run them like at game speed or like trying to tire yourself out and then do a shooting drill so you know how to shoot when you're tired. One thing, one thing that was fun that ironically came in really, uh, I guess it came in handy in a situation was when we used to play one-on-one in the driveway or backyard. And I'd put on those ankle weights. That's probably why my shot turned into a squat because I would have to use my legs more. And I
Yeah.
wasn't, yeah. But fast forward to senior night when I made this game winning shot, this dude took me out, whatever. Or even in games, I would get like bad passes. But when we practice together, we'd always practice game speed, and he would sometimes throw me like bad passes, but I'd just try to catch it and still like get it to my shooting pocket and hit it. And we made a rule like you could foul me as much as you wanted to. And then all that practice, I mean, those are just fun games. We would play games, series of seven, so whoever won 4 games first, you play 7 games total, possibly. And we'd just be laughing because I would bring it down the last second so I could make a game winner.
Oh yeah.
And we would just be fighting to see who could win. And I'd be, down 20, whatever. We had a bunch of rules. We'll go over that some other time. But, we found a fun way to like get better. You got better, you got more physical, you were able to like
Take the
condition
hits. Let's
yourself
face it.
too.
Like I was a pussy. Like, cause he would hit me. Like, dude, get off me. It's like you're gonna get destroyed in games because you're so small and you gotta take the hit. And because
Hmm.
I would bounce off you all the time, and so I just got tougher because well, and our sister Jessie would push me around too if I played her and anything, and I just got tougher because I got knocked around.
Yeah.
So
And we would play those one-on-one games, and then it led to that senior night when the ball came off the rim. I caught it. Some dude basically like took out my legs. I caught it in a weird spot, but I got it to my pocket and I just shot it like normal, and that led to that. And I just remember being that moment and a little bittersweet because like you and mom and dad weren't there because you're in St. Louis for the surgery. And I remember just being pissed that whole game. Just like, should have been me, felt like it should have been you in that situation. And I remember a couple of possessions before, I missed this big three in the corner. And I was so mad that I missed it because I usually don't miss those.
uh,
And I was wide open. I remember how mad I was that I missed it. And then I remember, I think our play was just give it to Mitch and get out of the way. So
yeah,
if you look at the video, I got it to Mitch and I got out of the way and I like spaced and I just like followed him behind him. And he was triple teamed. He almost made the shot. It was a good
yeah,
look. And for some reason, God gave us a good bounce, caught it. And yeah, I just remember thinking, dang, all those times in the backyard paid off for that one moment and just kind of really preached, you play how you practice. And we put ourselves through a lot of adversity in practice, whether fatigue, not have the right bounce. We would have those outdoor balls that had no grip. So then you get to a game and the ball just felt grippier because we just play so much on those outdoor balls. And yeah, I feel like it's, you don't see it when you're a kid or playing in college, whatever. But I feel like that has transitioned now because even in my current coaching job, I know if I don't prep for meetings or stay up on my education and the health and fitness industry, that I'm not gonna have good meetings, not gonna have good results for my clients. And I'm pretty critical of myself, always being like saying I could be practicing better, I could be prepping better. So now I guess practice is more like preparation. And same thing, like you practice for 2 hours for a game that's 1 hour. So your prep or your practice should be double the amount technically of whatever your performance can be. And we did that with your speeches too. When you were going to come speak at Hastings College, we would prep so much for that, what, 30, 60 minutes that you're going to give a speech. So I guess what are some areas now, maybe outside of sports, where you feel like you've taken your skill? I feel like you were really good at this. Like you were really good at doing a lot of different drills in your sports to throw you off a little bit, make you work on different things from footwork to conditioning, defensive drills, coordination. But where do you think you replicate that the best in your speeches or your podcasts or your job with Special Olympics?
Yeah, so probably like speaking, like I just gave a speech, or it was like a speech, but kind of like I was like training these like students. It was like a club for kids that want to be like physicians
Hmm.
someday. And like I would practice my speech, like read it word for word, or like look up at certain times when I thought I needed to look up at the audience. Because this one was hard because I had to give like medical information. And part of me is like, it's hard because yeah, I don't remember. We don't remember it. Like half of the good stuff is when we were born. So it's like
Yeah.
I don't have no memory except for the pictures. So it was that. So like kind of like, all right, I'm gonna read off the paper at this part of my speech, but I can look up here or just look up, remember to look up and look at the audience. And then like towards like the middle of when I went through like my blood sugar issues, my 14th and 15th surgery. I remember that stuff, so I can go with it. So like I knew like I was reading that part, but in my mind I was like, oh, I can look at the crowd and just like kind of tell some stories about it. And that's what I did. And I made like I don't plan to throw in jokes, but like I somehow do, and people laugh at my jokes, I guess. And it's because like I just kind of like am honest, and like I can I know at points in the speech this is where I can kind of like have a random conversation with the
Yeah.
audience like we're doing right now. Because sometimes some parts are like, all right, this is like very informational. I mean, the medical stuff I went through when we were born, that's really hard to remember. Like I have to read through that part, you know.
Yeah.
But it's so like intense and serious. I can catch people's attention, and it's like has to do with like your voice and how you present it. Because then when I got to like some of my other stuff, like my blood sugar issues, I kind of made it funny. Like, yeah, I don't know why I got this, but yeah, it's the weirdest thing I've gone through. Or one of the weirdest things I've gone through, and made some joke about it or whatever. I had to talk about the stuff of like what I do to stay healthy, and I'm like, I live with my parents, but I don't want to live with my parents. I just have to. Nobody wants to live with their parents, and they all
Hmm.
kind of thought that was funny, but um, yeah, I mean, I just kind of like pictured in my head of what it's gonna be like, what the room's gonna be like, what I'm gonna say. Like I can picture myself like I can basically like see myself sitting in the back of the room, and I'm watching myself like, all right, this part me looking down at the paper, and this part I'm not gonna be looking down. I can kind of ad lib at this part. I don't have to say this part word for word. They'll get
Yeah.
it what I'm saying. So it's stuff like that. And then I just went back to like, you play how you practice, or gotta say it right. Yeah, you play how you practice. Gotta make sure I said it right.
Yeah.
Uh,
You
and
perform how you prep.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the way I did with sports was just like I would just picture the match or the basketball game in my mind. The tennis match, if I'd be hitting off the wall, you know, there was like a marker of where the net was. So I would just imagine myself playing a match against myself, or like basketball. Basketball was hard for me because you play and like, oh, you got to shoot 50%. You got to score 15 plus points to be really good. And then you got to help me with like, look, you're not going to score what high schoolers scored because your game is shorter. and you're all uncoordinated, but if you score 10 points, that's like scoring 20 points. Over 10
Mhm.
points is like scoring over 20 points, 30 points, whatever. And then I was like, I make like obviously when I shoot by myself, like someone's like, you're on fire. Like you're just shooting by yourself. No one's guarding you. And I'm 5'4" and don't weigh 100 pounds. So it's very hard, for me in basketball because I get pushed around a lot. I was like, if I just make like 1 to 3 threes a game. That's like a lot for Special Olympics. And it could be like the game changer for the game. And all I gotta do is shoot these 200 threes, and 1 to 3 of them is gonna go in a game, and it's gonna change the momentum of the game or win the game for us or whatever. I've also
Mhm.
missed. Like I had a game tonight and I scored 28 points and I made 2 threes. Third three I shot to win the game, I missed. But I don't like. I'm mad that I'm like, should I have drove to the basket and tied the game, or should I have shot the three? And it's like, I'm not like disappointed. I shot the three. As like, if the same situation happens again next weekend on a game, I'm shooting the three. Like,
Mhm.
'cause I know I can make it eventually, because it just happens. So, because I put
Yeah,
in the time.
I
So
think visualizing super important. And now that you say it, I'm thinking I need to do that more in just my business with coaching and things like that of how our meeting's going to go, how our talking to new leads going to go, how am I going to handle this situation, that situation. And yeah, it's like once you prep for it, whether physically through, if it's sport, obviously you can be like physical with it. If it's business or speeches, more mental, more speaking aspect. Once you prep for it, like you said, you can add jokes, you can add in things, you can change the plan on the fly because you've lived the plan or you visualized it so many times. So it's like you've already been there. Like so you can act like you've already been there. And I think that is one of the hidden keys in that first part is, when you play how you practice, when you prep or you perform how you prep, or sorry, I mixed that up. You you will, oh my gosh, now you got me messed up on it. What is it?
it's you play how you practice.
Oh
See,
yeah, I
that's
got
why I
it.
wanted the poster by me, bro. I can't read it. I gotta turn around and look at the poster. And if I
Get a
had
mirror in
it,
front of you.
what?
Put a mirror behind the camera. You'll be
Hang
fine.
on. Well,
I'm
I had
just
to plug
kidding.
my computer in, about to go dead even.
It's all right. I think this is a good spot to kind of wrap it up, make it a little shorter, a little sweeter. But yeah, we can go through these. I'm big on just more, I guess, philosophy and deeper meanings behind things. And one thing definitely want to get into in my business is uh, probably helping out with the Dick Sporting Goods Foundation of Save You Sports because I really think that sports is what teaches all of us, even doesn't matter what age you are, teach you how to work as a team, fight through adversity, fight through those challenges, build confidence in yourself, and it just carries over tremendously in other areas of your life, whether it's personal relationships, work, projects, relationships, and whatever, even your sport. It's good to try to improve skills in something, whether it's doesn't have to be sporty, it could be something musical. So lots of
Yeah.
good tidbits we'll get from these, and
Hey,
yeah,
one thing I was gonna add was like, I think one of the reasons I could like envision myself, like think about when you're a kid and you have like imagination. I would I
yeah,
would always
you
imagine
always were
myself doing
imagining
stuff,
shit.
and it's like,
You're
what are you doing? And like, I'm pitching a baseball game right now. Don't talk to me, man.
like, dude, it's game 7 of the World Series, and it's a 2-3 count, or yeah, 3-2 count. Sorry,
3-2 count,
that's
bases loaded. Or like, I would I mean, I'd make like weird noises, and they're
yeah.
like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "I'm playing hockey. Shut up." You don't
But
even play hockey. It was
that's
like,
honestly,
oh,
you're getting to like a deep.
what happened? Well, Wes left. He will come back. But anyway, like I was saying, I would like kind of do an imagination kind of thing. And just kind of envision myself uh, playing games and just kind of put myself in situations, which was weird because I didn't really play that much. And I, I don't know, I just like always envision myself playing in the biggest games, probably because I didn't get to play in the biggest games. So I just always had this imagination of like, yeah, if I'm ever gonna get to this moment, I'm gonna make a big play and it's gonna happen. Like the NBA cares thing, I like always envision myself playing in the NBA, obviously, like any kid did. But I'd say like around probably sixth grade, I knew like, okay, I'm not gonna play in the NBA. I can't even play high school basketball when I get to high school. But I just would always envision myself playing in an NBA game. And I just knew one day I would kind of get to live out that dream. Like I didn't make the NBA, obviously, but playing that NBA cares thing that Wes and I got to go to, you know, it happened. Like I did my dream or got to see what it was like to be an NBA player for like a day. We got to ride a cool bus. We got jerseys with our names on the back, like these really nice, cool jerseys, like the NBA players wear. They gave us NBA headbands, like the players wear. It was just a really cool experience. And so I don't know, maybe just knowing in my mind, like someday I'm gonna uh be playing in big games or like now someday I'm gonna have my own place to live. I'm gonna be independent. Like I can envision myself living in my own place, being independent, being able to take care of all my crappy health stuff I have to go through. But you just gotta envision yourself of where you want to be in life. So I think that's really important. And that's kind of like it deals right into practice how you play. You want to play good in your games. Well, you got to see it. You got to believe it and you got to envision it when you're practicing in the gym with no air conditioning and you're working on shots. You're working on a floater. You're working on driving to the basket. You're working on like game game clock counting down and you're sprinting up the floor trying to make the winning layup. Or then the next time down court, you're game clock winding down and you're about to pull up for the game winning three. It's just you gotta have that vision in your mind of where you want to be in life, and you gotta uh practice. Oh crap! I can't read it again. You gotta play or damn it. You play how you practice. Dang it! Just get it right, Wyatt. Come on. So yeah, you just gotta do whatever you do in a game, do it in practice, or whatever you do in practice, do in a game. People, that's what it is, and I just believe that that's true to what you do in sports or anything in life. He's back, people. He is back. Don't worry, I went on a rant for like however long you were gone, which was pretty deep. Again, I had to reinstate what we were talking about because I can't read the damn sign.
I can't believe you kept going. I thought
Yeah, you
you
just gotta
stopped it for
keep it
sure.
going. I mean, I've you never listened to a podcast where the guy leaves and you're like, all right, time to improvise. Here we go.
I don't think I've ever listened to podcasts that's done that before.
Oh, I have like multiple times.
Oh, okay.
So it
Nice.
happens. We're not the only ones that have trouble with Zoom. Quick question. Was it Zoom or did your phone die?
My phone died.
Exactly. That's what I thought.
Yeah. The pretty West thing. I'm definitely gonna bring it down to the last percentage. And I was in a spot in the house where I was not close to a charger. So I was
Yeah.
trying to end the episode. I was trying to cut it off before it died. And like, hold on. I swear we're gonna have so many podcasts where we're gonna try to end it and we're gonna go on for like another 15, 20 minutes.
Hey, man, that's what makes people love us. Love people like that. I don't know. We were twins. Of course, it's gonna happen. Actually, we only lost the whole episode because remember I had to plug in my computer because you think this setting behind me looks great, but yet it's better to sit in the desk. That's where my charger is, and the
Dude, there's
background
like
looks
cool
good.
stuff behind you. I need cool stuff behind me.
Fine, whatever. Yeah. So actually, I'm gonna go. We're gonna post a clip on Instagram, and we're gonna vote. Would you rather see Wyatt at his desk, or do you want to see me sitting behind this poster and other things?
Yeah.
Which we got a shitty glare in the back, and we gotta fix that. I don't know how, but we'll figure it out. But
Let me got
anyway,
shitty player in the back.
look, like you can't see the poster up top.
Oh, shitty glare.
Yeah, glare. What do you
I
think?
thought you said player. I was like, isn't that a Hall of Famer behind you?
That's yeah. And I don't have these posters back here because I'm a Packers and Bears fan. The quotes are great, bro.
You call yourself a Vikings fan, and you got a Bears and a Packers fan behind you. I
It's
see
about
nothing
life
Viking.
lessons, Wes. Not everything's about the team, sport, and jersey. It's about life lessons.
Oh yeah, they're like quotes, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like one's about uh tomorrow's not promised, something like that, and the other one, Lombardi is like basically leaving it all out on the field.
yeah.
So, like I said, I can't read it from here. I'll have to turn around, and I don't want to. So,
All right, I'm gonna dig into where I was before I got cut off.
okay.
Real thing is, I didn't. My phone didn't die. Why just kicked me out? Because he went to go on a rant. That's what really happened in the Zoom meeting.
Well, when
I'm
you're the one that
sticking.
gets to record it on
I'm
your
sticking
computer,
to the story. I'm sticking to the story. That's all I'm saying.
whatever.
Anyways, you were talking about visualization, and that's actually something I always like to try to get better at. Sometimes I'm good at it. I'm not good at consistently doing it, but I feel like if that is a habit you can get, whenever I've stuck with a habit, then I've done really well at bringing that visualization to life. And I try to get this to all my clients of I need you to stop thinking about where you're at right now because like fuck that. Because if you were happy with where you're at right now, we wouldn't be in the situation. Like you wouldn't have hired me as a coach. So we're trying to get you to where you want to be, who you want to be. And sorry to break the news to everybody, but you're probably always going to be growing. If you're not growing, you're dying. So either growing or you're dying. And dying is just staying in the same spot, not working on anything, not trying to improve anything. And it sounds easy, but it's miserable. Like we're meant to grow. Like you have no purpose or passion if you're not growing in
Right.
some area. It doesn't have to be sports, business. It could be just trying to be a better person, be a better dad, brother, sister, mom, whatever. Doesn't matter. Anyways, there's a great book called Be Your Future Self Now, super cheesy. But this psychologist really talks about how you're pulled by your future self. You're pulled by that person 10, 20 years from now, and you're trying to become that person. So, like, you obviously, Wyatt, wanted to become a basketball player, a professional basketball player. You always put on jerseys before we play. We'd be like, kids about to play, and you're like, wait. And then you run inside, put on a jersey, come back out. And I always give you shit like, dude, that's what we're waiting for. It's like, and I always be like, we got to get the game started because our friends are about to leave. And uh, there's actually a lot of funny because then in college they were like, that's actually what you want to do when you're a kid. You want to believe you're somebody else, like a professional athlete.
Yeah.
Because then you start playing like a professional athlete, you start playing like a person that's better than you. And they did this with little kids and superheroes. They made kids dress up as superheroes and then give them like they would give them impossible problems that were infixable, give them a puzzle that they couldn't fix. And the kids that dressed up like superheroes would uh like try to fix the puzzle longer. And it was cool. They were like, this one little kid was like, Batman wouldn't give up. So,
That's hilarious.
yeah, I know. Yeah, it's so funny. But it's like same thing. It's like you gotta like when we play basketball, we kind of I know you do this too, but when you're a basketball player, you kind of visualize your shot looking like somebody else. And I always visualized Ray Allen. And like I always visualized that's what I want my shot to look like. Did not look like that at all. But in my head, that's what I was looking like. And I shot really well when I would think about that. And same thing, it's really hard for me right now because there's so many hats in building this business. Like, what does that person look like? And when I look at other people, I've realized I can't really compare myself to that person because I'm not that person. So I got to create who I want myself to be 5, 10, 20 years from now as a business owner, as a coach, and just like even as like a dad and husband. So visualizing that person, I'm like, what would that guy do? It's like, okay, I just need to do a couple more things like that guy. And I keep pulling myself that way instead of letting the past dictate my present situation. So if I'm thinking about my past, that'd be stupid because my past self has never built a business, never been a husband, and never been a dad. So that my past self doesn't know shit about my future self, really.
Yeah.
And that's just my take.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I was really talking about when you were gone, uh, like how, like I didn't know how I'd live out my dream of playing in the NBA, but I knew I could somehow put an asterisk by like I didn't really make the NBA, but I got to experience what it'd be like, and I would
yeah,
just imagine it, and like it would happen. Like today, I imagine, like I was saying, how I imagine myself like living on my own and taking care of my medical stuff, like, yeah, it seems so far away that I'll be independent, but like it'll happen, just not now. And because I always envision it, like it happening. Like me just, like literally my vision is just me, like living in an apartment.
yeah.
Like, it's
That's
like,
kind of
it'll
funny when you
happen.
say that. I picture you in that brown chair you're in, no furniture.
Whoa, hey. I have a really nice recliner that's got like heat and massage. I'm gonna have that
Sure.
thing.
So you're gonna have this super nice recliner, and then this super, no offense, just beat up, kind of shitty recliner. No offense, because it's kind of in our family now. But and then like a big TV. Nothing else. TV trays. You won't even have a coffee table.
Why would I get a coffee table when I can get 4 TV trays to create a table? It's called saving money, Wes. Come on.
Guess it's portable too. You can move them around the house.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but yeah, like kind of like that, or like I don't know, like I just picture like the randomest stuff, like me coming home and like you got the mail by the door and I have to look at my own mail and figure it out, or like me like making stuff in my own place. I mean, it's like the most boringest stuff, but it's like that's what I want to do. I want to live my own, and I probably
Yeah.
like don't do a lot of stuff that helps it out. Like, am I the cleanest guy? Probably not. Like, I'm not terrible, but it's just gotta pick
Yeah,
crap
but
up.
when you get to that situation, you'll be put in a situation where you're gonna make the choice of are you gonna do it or not? And more than likely you're gonna do it
Because no
because
one
of
else
all
is
the
around. That's why I tell mom and dad all the time.
yeah.
But but yeah, I
It's
mean,
called, you know what that's called? It's called social loafing. It's like when you're in that group in school and you're like, it's, I'm not gonna lie, I've been that one where I've kind of like, I would do a little bit so I wouldn't be completely like helpless, but it's nice when you're the dumbest person in the group and you're like, man, they're just gonna crush this. I'm gonna get
yeah,
this grade. But then it really sucks when you're not like super smart, but you're like, I'm the smartest person in this group. I'm gonna have to do most of the work and carry this. Like
yeah.
suck. Like that's when it sucks when you're that top person.
Oh yeah,
But anyways, like it's normal to social love. And when you're put in that situation, like I've noticed this with my business, like I definitely relied on some of my past coworkers to deal with certain things because that was their strength. I was like, okay, well, I don't have to worry about it. It's not my strength. They can do it. Now it's like, it doesn't really matter if it's my strength or not. I got to deal with it and figure it out. Like building that gym took me way longer than probably somebody who's good with tools, but I was like, that was also fun. It was fun at the end. I was frustrated at certain times, but it was cool at the end when I finally did it. And it's gonna be super cool when you get your own place and you're gonna be frustrated because you're like, what the fuck is this mail? Like this, it's like weird the first time you do it. I know you haven't dealt with it, but you like realize, oh, there's just like some like a scam or pointless
yeah,
mail or another credit card. And it sounds to a lot of us just like um pointless. But for you or somebody with a disability, that's a big deal. Like that's kind of a big deal if you can handle just a normal life situation. Like you said, mail, cleaning, cooking for yourself. It's a big sign of independence and it's a great feeling.
yeah. And just like I don't know, it's just hard for me. Like we talked about it earlier today on the phone. I was just like, it's hard for me. Like that was like my life. I went to work, school. If I was going to school, like college or high school, and then like playing sports, so I could work out however long I wanted to every freaking day. Work it
Mhm.
out, love it, and it's like, oh, shit, I probably ain't gonna work out every day much anymore. I gotta work out and stuff and get exercise probably at least 4 times a week,
Mhm.
but it's just like it won't be like every day because like my training schedule was insane when we were kids. Like I would just do it all the time. Like sometimes no days off. I think the longest I'd go was like 9 or 10 days I'd work out in a row. And then but I don't know. What's the thing called? You got extra energy as a kid. You got is it endorphins,
Human growth hormone.
growth hormone. Yeah,
You,
well,
endorphins
like
you get when you do cardio. That's
oh,
the
okay,
high, the runner's high.
yeah, yeah. But you said like kids have extra energy, obviously, like teenagers.
There's lots of things going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
So like, I mean, even though I had CP and we get more tired than you guys, I still had like extra energy, and there are some days I'd wake up in the summer like I could work out all day, and I did.
yeah,
And so,
you would be like, I can't wait to wake up tomorrow and work out. I'm like, all right, psycho, it's freaking 100 degrees tomorrow. So I
yeah,
could not, I sucked at working on the heat. I would die. I could not handle the heat.
I can do
I think
it.
I was just really dehydrated. I probably should be eating way more food. I don't think I was eating enough for how hard we would work out. I would still do a hard workout in the heat.
Yeah, you'd go
And
like 45 minutes, and I'd go like 2, 3 hours.
yeah,
And but
it's
like,
crazy. I died in gyms that were hot too. I could not play basketball very well when it was a hot environment.
well, I'm like the opposite now. Like as we gotten older every year, it's been harder and harder for me to get my blood sugar when it's drop and drop and drop. So
Yeah.
now it's like I'll do it, but not as long. But it is,
Mhm.
I mean, it tires you the shit out. But I think too, it's because I did it so much when we were teenagers, like the mental side of it never left. Like, all right, it's gonna get hot. So that's when I
Mhm.
strive, and that's when they break, like
Yeah.
intense. So, but yeah, I mean, it always honestly, it goes back to like the imagination, or you play how you practice, or practice how you play. Gosh, can't get it
Mhm.
right. Practice how you play, and
We're not starting off very hot with this first one.
no,
Keep
because
messing
I
it up.
told you the sign's gotta be next to me, not
What are
behind
you talking
me.
about? You still gotta look at it. You still gotta turn around and look at it.
No, you can just look at it right there. You can remember it. Whatever. My point is that like I would even picture myself like uh playing in the heat, like just like tomorrow it's gonna be like 95, it's gonna be 105 on the court, head's gonna be pounding, stomach's gonna be hurting, be chugging a bunch of water, eating as much as possible, trying to stay
Sounds
out
like an
there. It's
Eminem
gonna be
song right now.
what?
That sounded like an Eminem song for a second.
Yeah, dude. But
That's
yeah,
sick, though.
man, I mean, like, I don't know. I just loved it. And like if it was super humid, I was like, oh, my eye's gonna sting. Weirdly, it was always just my left eye. Like I would sweat so much on my left side that my eye would sting. I'd sweat on my right side too, but not as much as my left.
Yeah, dude, that's one of the weirdest things about your body. It's how like even your nerves and your pores on your right side are just not as good as your left. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, like my back sweats a lot sometimes. And they're like, it's because certain nerves never grew back.
Yeah, that's nuts.
So, but yeah, man. Uh you just gotta, you play practice how you play. And I mean it works. I mean it worked for us. It works for the pros. You think they just are lazy in practice?
Works
Not
for
like
anybody that
yeah,
preps
exactly.
to
Like
perform. Yeah.
or like if you're the opposite, and let's say you work a lot and you want to like start working out, well then the time you put in your job all day and the dedication and the drive, you got to put it in like your 45-minute workout,
Mhm.
basically. I mean,
Yeah. So
so
basically, it's like you're saying, the magic is in the work. I think that's a good spot to end it. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Spalding Brothers Show. Thanks for holding on as we had technical difficulties. Hopefully, this is a good example of it's not going to be perfect, but just get it done. I feel like we're pretty good about that as a team. But yeah, we'll see you next time. We'll be going through this, probably talking about March Madness, talking about our lives, just random stuff. And we'll see you next time. See
see
ya.
ya.